Everyone, welcome to another edition of Founder Wisdom Podcast. Today we have Patrik Juránek with us. He is founder and CEO at Startup Disrupt. Pat, nice to have you on the pod. Can you give us a brief intro about yourself and Startup Disrupt and all of your other companies?
Yeah, sure. So hi, Charles, and hi, everyone here. My name is Patrik, and I'm happy to be here. So basically, what is most relevant to me that for the last 5 years, I'm building the startup communities all around Central and Eastern Europe. And everything, all of it, we are doing under the brand of Startup Disrupt. So if you are interested, startupdisrupt.com, you can learn anything about us. Basically, the most important what we are doing, that we are trying to build a space where all people who are interested into the startups can look for some advices and support, and at the end to meet with the people who already built something, so they can learn, educate, and be inspired of those guys. And at the end, once they are experienced enough, we can help them to connect with potential investors, mentors, and even their potential clients from the side of the corporates. So that's it.
So tell us a bit more about your background. How did you fell in the startup ocean?
So I felt in the startup ocean like it was already, I think, like 15 years ago when I was during my high school, and I was interested in the startup. So I was looking for all information on the TechCrunch, Business Insider, and all of those channels. And because I'm coming from Czechia, which is in the Central Europe, and that time there was not so many people who were like aware what is actually startup and what is going on. So I started to gather information. After that, I found that there is some, during my universities studies, I found that there is more people like me who are interested in startups, who would like to build something, but they don't know how to do it. They don't understand like the how to do the pitch deck, or how to pitch their idea, what is the structure, and how to talk to investors. And from this, I realized, hey, okay, so maybe let's bring some platform to life where similar people like me can learn and can improve their projects, and can build something what will change the world around us.
Pretty cool. And yeah, I can read here on your LinkedIn, gripper.cz. You also worked for 2 years at KPMG, sales development consultant, which is good experience. You're a mentor at Founder Institute. So this is definitely like great experience. You also co-founded Startup Grind in Prague, right?
Yeah, exactly. So once I know that I wanted to build something which could help to other guys. I still needed to learn how to build a community. So that's why I found from my friend who was the time in China and built Startup Grind all over the China, around like 60 chapters, Jans Michael, and he told me, hey, maybe Startup Grind could be great for you, to start something in your country. And so I said, hey, why not? So at the end, it was only to organize one meetup per month, and I like it. So that's how we started.
Pretty cool. And how many startups come to you generally to your events in Startup Disrupt, and what's the goal of the organization?
Mm-hmm. So in these days, we are organizing conferences where we are having around like person, and around, let's say, 25,000-30,000 people who are watching it through the live stream which we are holding. So this is like in terms of the metrics. Still, all the community which we built is not only around the startup founders, but it's as well about the people in the large enterprises who are looking for innovations, and they would like to be connected with those like the founders of the interesting technologies and projects, because it's someday it's much more cheaper and much more easier than to build it on their own, because sometimes they don't have the competencies, they don't have this technological team. So that's why they are coming to us. So this is how they are coming. And sorry, what was the second part of the question?
Yeah, what's your goal? Where do you want to build Startup Disrupt?
Yeah, so the goal, I already mentioned, like one part was that I wanted to help people like me who are interested to build something globally, how to do that. So this was like one goal. And I think from that, like everything else is from that. Basically, I wanted to help technological founders with global ambitions to build the next big thing. That's it.
Cool. And yeah, you want to expand in US and Asia as well around 2025, as I've heard.
Yeah, so right now we are mostly in Central and Eastern Europe, and like within the next 1 year, next year, I'm coming to US for 1 month. So I'm definitely looking for our community guy there. So guys, if anyone of you is interested to build a community around the US, just let me know. We'll be more than happy to discuss with you what we can do together. And to Asia, this is the goal for 2024, 2025.
What's your goal with Startup Disrupt? Like, do you guys make money as well? Like, where do you want to bring this company?
Yeah, so at the beginning, as I mentioned, like the goal, it was pretty easy, and we did it for like I guess as many communities comes from some social needs on the market and doing it for free. Of course, some at the end we realized that this is definitely not sustainable even for the team and even for myself. So at the end, we found that one model is that we are looking for partnership and sponsorship who are supporting us. But right now, what we found will be more for the sustainable future of even the startup disrupt is that we would really like to boost the connection, those meaningful connection between the founders and large enterprises. And after that, ask for fee once the pilot project, some EOC is in place and it's working and there's some added value for both sides.
Yeah, for sure. And do you connect some of these startups with your accelerator, LXVI?
Yeah, so this is the second part. That one is like around community startup disrupt, and to my other like initiatives is LXVI, which is basically company which is investing into the startups, but more likely to small and medium business companies. This is more like the family business, so I'm there with my father, and together because he's already well-established founder. He founded several companies in the last like 40 years. And this is actually, I think, as well, one of the key elements which influenced me to the stage where I am right now, because I'm coming from the family of entrepreneurs. Even my grandfather was an entrepreneur. So that's, I guess, something which influenced me to the past, which I'm doing right now.
Yeah, same here. I also come from an entrepreneurial father. How's it to try to maintain the pace, like with your father and your grandfather that are so successful? How does it feel to always keep on pushing? Do you want to kind of surpass them? Do you feel that?
Yeah, so like from the till, I would say that till my 20s, I didn't want to build a company. I was interested in the startups, in the investment, but I the family, they pushed so much to be someone how they felt that, hey, this should be the way because it's the best for them. So till that, I was like interested in startups, but actually I was more like, hey, I don't want to do it. I don't want to be the same. But after that, there was some like the life changes, and I realized, hey, probably this is something what would be really interesting to me because I'm more like the extrovert. I'm really talkative, and I'm creative, so I can build the things, and I can like amaze other guys to join me on this journey. So at the end, I realized, hey, maybe this is a mixture which at the end could be for me. Maybe just in different like the sectors than what they did, because my grandfather, he was in like the industry, heavy industry. So it was more technique, more than what I would be interested. And at the end, once I started Startup Disrupt, we discussed with the father, hey, maybe we could do something together. And the fund seemed like, yeah, maybe this could be the way.
Do you often butt heads with their different philosophies? Because us younger folks, we tend to be more tech savvy, more risk taking. Also, does that cause problem between you folks sometimes?
Of course, it's some days it is that I have just different point of view on many things because I'm different generation. But what I think is most important, not with grandfather, but with father, that he's and what I think for all of you guys, if you are doing some family business or even if you have some kind of communication and you would like to have long-term communication with your parents in any kind of area of your life, that there is some transparent and open communication, that nothing what you are saying is wrong, more trying to really understand. This is not only for like my parents to understand my point of view, even if they don't, if they can't, they just respect that. Hey, okay, you know, you have maybe more information in some area. Yeah, we trust you. Let's go this way. And this similar is for me. If I would like to learn something, that I'm trying to really be open-minded and take from their advices the best what I can to improve myself and push myself. Because of course they have more experiences in areas where I'm not so much experienced because they are in this world for tens of years more. So even there, I'm trying to really somehow listen to them carefully and find what is important and what is useful for me in these days and what is not.
Who are great examples of unicorn in Czech, and what similarities do they share in the ascension to this billion-dollar status?
So there's definitely more cases for the last, I would say, like 3 years. It was like all the Czech startup because it really boosted up. But the most successful probably in these days is a product board, which is a startup, which is I think like probably maybe 6 years on the market. They are already like well established as well in US, and they are unicorn. So they their valuation is like above like 1 billion US dollars. And what is I think the most like the all the startup is about that they build a platform for product managers to build the products. And I think that what is the most important for this startup that they have a great company culture and people in like the co-founders who are I think really well balanced. That one co-founder is really well like the tech guy, and second one is more like the presentation and business guy. And I think that this kind of combination is really helping to build a successful startup. So the strong team, like the strong foundation team, and after that, strong team of the senior level, like directors and managers who are building the company. Because right now, company, I guess they have already over like 100 or 200 employees, so they are really exploding. And the last thing, what I think was really important here, they expanded really in early stage. So they didn't stay in Czech Republic, they didn't stay in Central Europe, but they understood that if they were like to, if they wanted to do in their business for the product managers and to really find more investors, they came to US and they were connected to the top VCs. And even right now, I think that previous year, 2021, they raised money from Sequoia Capital, one of the leading like VC funds. So I think that the expansion, strong founding team, and great ways how to share the competence within their teams. That's it.
Tell us about your decision to start an accelerator vs a typical VC. What are the differences between both, and why did you decide to go the accelerator path?
You mean like why I focused more on startup disrupt rather than LXVI? This is the question.
Well, you're an accelerator at LXVI, right? Do you guys also cut checks to startups as VCs, or do you just focus on early stage model?
Yeah, so we are mostly focusing on the pre-seed. On the one side, on the pre-seed, but as I mentioned, we have like 2 investments in pre-seed, and the rest is in like SMEs. So already regular business companies who are working on the market, they are pretty clear to understand, and this was more like the diversifying the finance.
Yeah, so my
question something what is already bringing
is why like focus on accelerator model vs just cutting checks as a VC?
Sorry, I don't get you right now. Could you just maybe put it different way, the question?
Yeah, well, you're an accelerator, right? So you go pre-seed, you take small parts of the company and you help them very early stage. You might have a couple of startups in your incubator / accelerator. Yes, VCs that do not incubate startups, right? They just cut checks. Why did you decide to go with the former?
Oh, got you. So right now we are asking what we are doing here. Like in comparison to US, like the model which you mentioned, right? Yeah. Because you are saying US VCs are coming with the checks, and we are more coming not with the checks, but with the accelerator, right?
Well, the US do both, right? So these are two different models, accelerators vs VC. So why do you go mostly with accelerator? Why do you prefer to start with a founder and help them kind of get the product market
Yeah,
fit, right? Which is at this
yeah.
stage.
So basically, it is because it's I would say of course it will take more time to spend with the founder to help him to get on track. But once if you have good processes and you are able to really quickly validate that they are able to hit the market, it's much more easier to be them from the let's say early stages and invest, because at the end you have the higher returns once it's done. But of course, even this strategy is really about validating what idea, what product, what team really has the potential to hit the market. Because if you don't have these processes, and many accelerators don't have them, let's say so detailed, they are investing so much time into the companies which are just even not able to do that, because there is not good combination of the factors which at the end will get the success.
Yeah, for sure. And you've been like, if we talk about LXVI, you've been at it for the past 4 years. You have a couple of examples of startup success that have gathered major traction, which you and eventually hit product market fit.
Mm-hmm. Like, I think it's not only about LXVI, but also startup disrupt activity, where we have like the whole community of founders. So this is quite something as well rewarding for us, that once doesn't matter if the startup founders are come us from the side of the LXVI as a fund or from startup disrupt. But we have, for example, the company which is called Digi2, and this is the company which is automating accounting in the companies, and they are using some like AI bots who are helping with the accounting in multiple countries. And what is interesting here, that they come to us, I would say like 2 years ago, to some female leaders event, because the founder is a amazing young woman who is has a competence in the field of accounting and the financing world. And at this event, they as well met with the board member of one of the leading banks in Central Europe, Erste Group. And so it was an interesting story. Once they come to the event, we give them this page on the for their page. They pitch the idea, and at the end, they found like the one new client and one strategic partner who helped them to improve their business, even improve their strategy. And at the end, all these events as well help them to be better in like their pitch sessions. So at the end, after a couple of months, they bring on board new investor for, I think, like 2 million euros. So this was one of the success stories which we were proud of at the Startup Disrupt, because I'm not like putting away Startup Disrupt LXVI, because I'm founder on the both sides. So it's just still the same activity.
Yeah, it's just that Startup Disrupt, you don't have any stakes in these companies, right? It's kind of a non-profit, or
exactly. It's like we don't have the profits in the startup which we are supporting.
Yeah, so it's like a front end to gather like startups so that eventually can be part of their success in some ways, which is why I'm asking for the fund, you know. Like, I think it's important to have like part of something if you want to help it succeed. Me personally, my mission is to have the greatest startup ecosystem in the world. And yeah, I want to help startups for free, but also I want to have a stake into them. So that's why I'm trying to understand the strategy of Startup Disrupt vs LXVI, you know?
So I have a different model here. So for example, at the Startup Disrupt, we found several startups who are interesting in the field of like automation of customer service, for example. And because my father built one of the leading call centers here in the Czechia, and he has a really extensive experience in the customer service communication and building the customer centers. We realized to build, not build, but to invest into the team who was in the beginning of the journey. This project we are calling Evercon AI. And there what we did, we invested in the team. And right now we are helping them to build this Evercon AI because we already have the customers. We already can connect them with the big clients. We already did that. So we help to boost the traction, and we are helping them to build this startup as an investor and more as a like the active investor who is really supporting them with the proper connection to the clients, with the strategy and with everything. So this is the second part, what we are doing. And there, of course, we are as an investors and we have the stake.
Very cool. What culture difference do you see in Czechia vs US/American culture in startup founders?
Mm-hmm. So I think that what I see the most, and I think it's as well about the mindset, because here in Central Europe, we were like after around 30 years in the communism. So it was socialism. It was really like not so easy to build a business. Even I know it from my parents how they tried it in these times. It wasn't easy. Someday even it wasn't like the legal because of the establishment of the countries and of the system. And I think that many people here just don't have self-confidence to do something, to really think, hey, I can do it, I can succeed in something. And in opposite to US, where I think that there is definitely much more different mindset, even from the elementary school, where like the people are really supporting ideas, they are supporting the self-confidence, and hey, you can do it. This like approach, you can do it. It's really something what here, so many years, it was more like, don't do it because of the people who will think about you, because it's not right, because of the society, just don't do it, be an employee and don't do your stuff. And because of this, even many people in my age, like the 30 years after we are out of the communism, they don't have this self-confidence. And even we as a startup business need to help them to organize events and pitch sessions and everything to just help them to build this self-confidence. Because on one side, we have great technological knowledge, like tech competence is here on the really good level. So even that's the reason why many like US founders are looking for tech co-founders within the Central Europe, because there is so many good potential in the tech side. And so this is, I think, like the differences. So at the end, founders here, once they would like to really build something big, they need to go and found the experiences and gain experiences in US, in other markets on the West, in the West world, because it's helping them to change the mindset and to really build something and to really really understand, hey, I can really change something. On the side of the US, I think that there is great. The side that the founders are really, or even the people are really supported to bring their ideas to the life and to really change something, and they can do it. They can do it. And at the end, of course, this is dissimilar for investors, because we have much more conservative investors here in Europe because of this mindset. And I think in US, much more investors are just able to invest in the human potential. And even doesn't matter if your startup will work or not. If they will see that you are really good and you did good stuff, and at the end, COVID, market, whatever, and maybe your startup failed, they are ready to invest again if they will see, hey, this is the guy who really can do something. Here in Europe, once you are done, people can judge you and say, hey, this founder did it wrong one time, so why we should invest more? And I think that this is the main differences between the founders and investors.
Yeah, that's really striking. Thank you for clarifying to that, and thank you for helping that community to push forward, because I think that's really important. Where can people find out more about you, Pat, on LinkedIn, or if you have a website?
Yeah, so absolutely. Go to LinkedIn, Patrik Juránek, more than happy to connect with you. By the way, next week I'm coming to Web Summit Lisbon. So if any one of you would be interested, just let me know. And of course, the website, startupdisrupt.com. There you can find more information about us.
All right. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.